Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Dear viewers, today I will be discussing about use of definite article. In my previous lecture I had discussed about how to use indefinite article an. So there I had said that we use an with singular countable nouns. But as for this definite article is concerned, it can be used with singular as well as plural countable nouns, and it can be also used with uncountable nouns. So let's try to discuss it in detail and try to understand what this is all about. So rule number one, that is when we talk about a particular person or thing, already something already referred to, that has been already referred. So when we talk about a particular person that we already know the context, we must be knowing that is already discussed, that is already referred, or we know the context, we know the particular person. So for example, we have the first example, that is the book you want is out of print. So it is, we write the book. Why? Because it's the book that you want. So it seems the thing has already been discussed. We are talking about a particular book. It's not a random thing. We are not talking about all the books, but we are talking about a particular book that has already been discussed. So the second thing is I saw a boy in my orchard. So in the first sentence I write a boy because it can be any boy, but the boy ran away after he saw me. Now the boy, so it's the particular boy that I saw in the orchard. So that's why when something has already been mentioned earlier, and the next time we talk about it in the next sentence or in the same paragraph, if we want to talk about the same thing that has been already mentioned, so we use article the. But when we introduce it for the first time, we use article a. So that is the difference. The next thing is when a singular noun is meant to represent a whole class. It's a singular noun, but it represents the whole class. For example, we have the ox values much in this season. The ox values much. So it's not a single ox, but it's the whole class of oxen. So that's why we say the ox. So it represents the whole class. Similarly, we have the cat loves comfort. It's not a single cat, but we talk of the whole class, the cat. But there are certain exceptions. We have this, we say man is mortal. We don't say the man is mortal, though the rule is that, but this is an exceptional case. As for this man is concerned, or this woman is concerned, we say man is mortal, we say woman is equally important. But sometimes we also use, in certain sentences, we use a man to represent the whole class. So man is mortal means all men, even it includes women. So when we say man is mortal, it represents the whole class. Even we are not using the article there with it. So but sometimes we use this a man, it also represents the whole class. These are exceptional cases, otherwise the rule remains there. We have to use that for any singular noun to, so that it may represent the whole class. But when we say, for example, we have this a man, we say a man is known by the company he keeps. So in that sentence also, a man means all men are known by the company they keep. So we have to see this. These are exceptional cases, but normally we say when a singular noun is there and we use the article there, it means it represents the whole class. Okay, so next thing we have, before some proper names. But we should always remember that we never use this definite article there with particular names, with proper names. But there are certain proper names that have some relation with place names. They are place names. So for example, we have this oceans and seas, the Pacific, the Black Sea. Similarly, we have the names of the rivers. We have the Ganga, the jehlum, the Nile. So similarly, we have the names of the canals. So we have the Suez Canal. So we have these deserts, the Sahara, the Gobis. We have the groups of islands, like we have the example, the West Indies. Similarly, we have the mountain range. So it's the Himalayas, the Alps. It's a mountain range. So notice the difference: mountain peak and mountain range. Mountain range means series of smaller mountains. So Himalayas is not a particular, it's not a single mountain, it's a series of mountains. So mountain range. Similarly, we have this Alps. We have the names of few countries, for example, which include words like kingdom And republic, for example, we have the Irish Republic, so we say the Irish Republic. We have the United Kingdom, we have the Ukraine, we have the Netherlands. So these are some proper names where we use article they. So then we have rule number 4. We have certain books, and like we have the Quran, the Bible, the Vedas, the Ramayana. These are religious books, and these are important books, and that's why we use this definite article there. We have also the names of names of things that are unique of their kind. So these things are quite unique. They have no other example, they have no parallel. We have the sun, it's a unique thing. We have the earth. Similarly, we have the ocean, we have the sea, the sky, the globe. So these are unique of their kind. So then we have the next rule, rule number 6. So we use this definite article with a common noun to make it an abstract noun, or to make it an abstract quality. For example, we have the teacher in him is still energetic. So we are not talking about the teacher, we are talking the quality of being a teacher, the teacherly aptitude. So we say the teacher in him, उसके अंदर का वो उस्ताद अब भी जवान है. So even if he looks an old man, but the teacher in him is still energetic. So we're talking of an abstract quality. So similarly, we have the proper noun. We have proper nouns qualified by adjectives. Otherwise, I already said we don't use this definite article there with proper nouns, but if they are qualified by adjectives, for example, we can't say the Shakespeare, but we say the immortal Shakespeare, because the word immortal adjective has been used. So we can say the immortal Shakespeare, or similarly we can say the great Luqman. So the Luqman is wrong, but the great Luqman, the adjective comes in between, so we can use the great Luqman. So similarly we have the next rule. We use it with the superlative degrees of adjectives. We know adjectives have 3 degrees: positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative degree. So it's the last degree. We say the darkest night, we say the best book, the most intelligent person, like that. We have a lot of examples. So we have another rule with ordinals. It means the first person, the 9th chapter, the second thing, the third, the fourth, the fifth, all these we use this with the ordinals. So similarly we have the musical instruments, like we have the flute, the violin. So these are musical instruments, we use with them. So then we have before an adjective when a noun is understood. So we have the poor are always exploited. So it actually means it's actually the poor men. It talks about the whole class of poor people. So it's an adjective. But so if we use it with a singular noun, if we use it with a singular noun, it represents the whole class, but the poor is adjective. So when the noun is already understood, we can use it with the adjective. For example, the rich, it means the whole class of rich, but it's an adjective, it's not a noun. So similarly we can say the exploited. So there are certain examples. Then we have before this I said we use it in the superlative degrees of adjectives, but sometimes it's used with the comparative degrees of adjectives. For example, we have this: the higher you go, the cooler it is. When the two clauses are parallel to each other, or when they talk of some contrast, when there is a contrast in the two parallel clauses, the higher you go, the cooler it is, the more they get, the more they want. These are two clauses put against each other. So we are using comparative degree in certain cases. So we also have the names of directions, for example, the north, the west, the east. Similarly we have other examples, or we have this names of some well-known buildings or banks or offices or newspapers. For example, the World Trade Center, the Mowlana Azad Institute of Technology, the State Bank of India, the Parliament, the Hindu. So and there can be other examples. Or we also use it with the commonly known things. For example, these should be remembered like this: the airport, the road, the station, the market. So these are certain important uses of this definite article. So we should keep these things in mind. So that's all about this definite article there. We shall be discussing in the next lecture. There are certain cases where we need no article, what we call a zero article. So we have to keep in mind those situations where neither indefinite article nor definite article is used. So we call that case as zero article, or simply we use no article there. I will be discussing it in my next lecture. So thank you very much for today. Thank you.